Welcome to Learning Life Skills Together. This is our weekly community Zoom meeting where our guests help us to go deeper into the 4 life skills and open up a huge array of chances to practice them. Hello, everyone. This is the weekly Zoom meeting for Learning Life Skills Together, and this is number 52 to end the year. So we rounded it right up. I have with me today Angela Guerriero, who is on the faculty in music therapy at Westchester University, where we're recording this. And so we usually begin with a practice, a guided practice. And so I'm going to just say that perhaps our guided practice is one of listening and that the music will be our guide. How does that sound?
Sounds great. Here we go.
So, unfortunately, we can't ask everyone how this was for them, but I have to say that I did find that there was a little bit of rest in that for me. And, a lot of different feelings came up because that's a tune that we hear a lot at the winter holidays. It's not necessarily when you need to hear it, but we hear it then, and so it sort of brings up a lot for me, and so there's the whole question of how things are for us at the holidays, right? And so the holidays can be an emotional time and on a whole lot of different levels, especially with our kids who are all probably overly excited. And so I'm thinking that music is one way that we can sort of help people come a little more into balance. That's our skill number 2 is coming into emotional balance. And so I think there's probably a lot of ways that music does that for us.
Absolutely. Yeah, music can help us regulate each other or co-regulate. So I know for me, when I play guitar, when I play piano, most of the time it's relaxing to me. Most of the time. Depends what I'm working on. But most of the time it's relaxing to me, and then that comes across to others as well. So that co-regulation, how carers we are the key to helping children regulate themselves. So if they're having a tough time, we can help.
Yeah. I mean, the sort of, it seems like the most obvious idea of that is a lullaby.
Yes. And a lot of holiday songs, Green Sleeves, I chose that. It can be a lullaby. It's also public domain, so it was okay to use over the airwaves here. But it can be a lullaby, and a lot of holiday songs this time of year can be lullabies.
Mm, right. So we're sort of do we sing them? How do we sort of get into this? Do we sing them together? Do we, what's when what's that like? What are the benefits of that?
Yeah, all of the above. So we can sing together, we can listen together. But the benefit of singing together is if your child's a younger child and you're holding them, that pressure, that embrace, if it's a lullaby and they're hearing you sing it, they might also be feeling that through the vibrations of your chest. And that could
Mm,
help to regulate their nervous system. Maybe rocking side to side while listening to music. And just helping that child feel secure. That could be through singing, that could be through listening, that could be through holding them, whatever works. And silence is also important. This season can
mm,
definitely be an onslaught to the senses, so silence is
yeah,
also important and a big part of music.
yeah. And so how do we sort of mix those two,
Oh,
the
I just
silence and the music?
Well, just really being in tune with yourself and with your child. So if you feel like there's a lot of auditory input now, there's a lot going on.
Mm,
So
there
maybe
usually is. Yeah.
so maybe taking a few moments to be silent, maybe turning music off, maybe changing the volume. Um, if you are singing with just your voice, that's different than singing with piano and guitar accompaniment, and it's different than listening to it as well. There's different
Mm,
ways that we process that.
yeah.
So, and
So yeah, so um this idea of maybe we are making decisions that are going to help around, sort of what's going on, whether we're choosing to come together and sing or whether we're just randomly listening to stuff on uh, whatever people do anymore. I mean, it's a little complicated for someone as old as I am,
uh,
to even say it. It's like the radio.
well, there's
Who
the
listens to the
radio,
radio?
there's streaming
Yeah,
services, there's
yeah,
other all sorts of services out there, but
yeah.
just being in tune with yourself and with your child. A friend of mine said that I could share this, but her daughter was afraid of any characters and animatronics and anything until age 5, and she was very
Mm,
in tune with that because they would encounter it. One of them was outside the karate studio, and her daughter didn't want to go in this time of year because of that. There's certain songs that children may not like. Maybe they don't like the sound of jingle bells, which is everywhere this time of year. So
mm,
just being aware of the sights and the sounds that they may or may not like. It could be a certain song, it could be a certain instrument, it could be seeing something. And creating an environment or being aware of maybe don't go to that part of the mall. Maybe fast forward past that song. Just being
yeah,
aware of that.
yeah, yeah. I hear that. So, hmm. So, an awful lot of what we do at the holidays is what we did last year and what we did 10 years ago. So there's this whole sense of tradition that we have out there. And so there's a sense that we want to build that for our kids, I think.
Yes.
A lot of us anyway want to build that up. So how does that happen?
So some of that could be, again, singing or listening to music. Also, a big part of that is holiday concerts if children are school age, preschool age, school age.
Mm,
Holiday recitals, that's part of the traditions that children are used to that happens this time of year. And that can be part of the formative memory making for families
mm,
because
yeah,
sometimes grandparents come, aunts and uncles, neighbors, extended family can come.
yeah.
The problem with taking videos and people want to share with their families. If people post it online, a lot of times there is copyright. I spoke about that in the beginning,
Mm.
and that might be taken down at some point. But yeah, it's great to witness it live if you can, to have extended family there. And then if family misses it, maybe instead of taking the video, children can come home and sing that song for your family at home. Like recreate that moment at home with everyone.
Ah, yeah. Okay. You still can't record it though.
Yeah, well, maybe that can
Except
be
for your own use.
for your own use, maybe
Yeah.
in front of your home holiday decor or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting stuff. So, the traditional songs that we all have, and then I suspect that there are traditions that families have themselves, that there are songs that people know, and those are the ones that they sing, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So music can be, it can be regulating. It also can be dysregulating, which is why we need to be in tune with the children, but
Yeah.
it can be regulating. So maybe think about for yourself what songs were important to your family or to you when you were growing up,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then introduce your kids to it. And we were talking about that beginner's mind because it may be new to them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, how I can't tell you how many times I've heard Jingle Bells, but for some children, that's going to be new. And maybe it's the first song that they know all the way through. It's not exactly difficult, you know? And so that becomes a big deal for them. And for us to be able to get back into that, as you say, beginner's mind. Like this is the wow. What if this was the first time I was hearing this? And what if what if it was making me as excited as this child? Somehow to bring ourselves to be able to share that, I think would really be wonderful for everybody concerned.
Yeah, and there's current musicians, current artists that are re-recording some of these songs. So that's what makes it new too. So a child may
Mm.
know a newer version of the song that you didn't
Oh,
know.
yeah. Yeah. So that's I mean, I'm thinking of a family coming together and, bringing up a song. And so everybody's mind is working differently and they've got different versions of it that they're thinking about. What do we do? What do we do with that? Do we sit down and I don't know. It's as we were saying, it's a little above my head, but there are so many ways of accessing recorded music that you could have a concert of one song.
Oh my goodness, there's some songs that have been recorded many
Yeah,
times over.
yeah,
But
yeah,
what might be interesting there too is thinking of a song from a grandparent's generation and in history, when was that recorded? What was the world like? What was the culture like then?
yeah,
And
yeah,
there maybe what were just a few radio stations, a few that played these songs, and that's what everyone listened to. And then
yeah.
maybe in the parents' generation, perhaps it was re-recorded, and now the young ones' generation, it might be new to them. But thinking how these songs may have been shaped by the world at that time, kind of like
Yeah.
folk songs of that generation, and it's also how we recognize what time of year it is. It marks like, okay, it's towards the end of the year, I'm hearing these songs again.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I can see some really interesting conversations at the holidays coming out of that. Just, oh, wait, you know it that way? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so, and even to make the songs even newer for your family, you can rewrite the words to the songs, like 12 Days of Christmas. You can rewrite it for your own family and make a version for yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of these streaming services have karaoke versions of songs. So if you write your own words, you can just look for the karaoke version and
Okay.
sing them
Yeah.
yourself.
Got a chance to sing with accompaniment.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm, good. So let's see. Um, Another thing that we were talking about is that there are kids who grab hold of these songs and carry them far beyond the season for which they're meant.
And that's all okay. It's all okay. For that, this can happen for a number of reasons. Maybe they really like the song. Maybe there's a certain chord progression or melody or something that they connect with, or the lyrics. Maybe it reminds them of a sense that they had during this time of year. It could be anything, but it's just something to be embraced and encouraged. It's okay. If you sing Christmas songs in July, if you sing anything any other time of year, it's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's probably a major theme here is that whatever you're doing is okay,
Yes.
and that, we sort of need to take it as it comes and take our children where they are, where we meet them with these things. So I'm just, I'm trying to be a little bit concrete for people too. So there's the lullaby version of things that we, might want to use kind of at the end of the day or when things are a little off kilter. But there's lots of other moods,
Yeah.
for these songs as well. And I'm just sort of thinking about how do they fit in, and what might where and when might we decide, oh, we should sing together, or we should play some music and it should be, this.
Or
Any?
dance together too.
Oh,
So decorating, you can be dancing to the music too. It doesn't even have to be singing or just sitting and listening. You can move to
right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of times, baking or decorating or anything like that. It's great to move to the music, and sometimes singing happens then too. That's great.
Yeah.
And also, it it's important to not abandon other songs, other favorite songs during the year, because we have an onslaught of certain songs this time of year. But
Oh,
don't forget
yes.
about the other favorite songs too. They can be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and parents know, carers know what types of songs can be alerting and that are fun to dance to, and what types of songs can be turned into lullabies for calming. So maybe having a mix of holiday songs and others from other times of year, and just again being in tune with what works right now. And what works right now may be different from a few moments ago and different from a few moments in the future. So,
Yeah. I mean, this really is that point around our attention practice. So, really noticing what's happening around you and with your child and how you yourself are reacting, how you're responding, because that's the thing you have to take care of first, right?
yes.
We have to be in balance before we can work with others and really help them come in that way. We were talking in our other sort of holiday special, if you will, about ghost stories, which are a big
Yes.
tradition in
Yes.
the UK, and how that sense of being with your child and hearing something, the scariest part of the story. And so the two of you are kind of clinging to each other and both of you are getting something out of that. you're co-regulating, as you said, kind of at the start of our conversation. I'm helping you, and you're helping me because I like feeling that you feel safe.
Yes.
I'm not sure about me, or however that works out.
Yeah.
And so I sort of see that available in music, that co-regulation part, as being really obvious. And I guess, the thing that I'm trying to call out here is that it starts from us noticing.
Yes.
It's being attentive, being mindful, if you will.
Yeah, and also being mindful that and attentive to the fact that our routines are often different this time of year. And
Mm,
it can be anything from when I have my phone and open the music streaming service, and there's several different channels for holiday music, and I'd have to scroll through to get to the ones that I want to get to. Or if you get in your car and the radio station you usually listen to has completely different music this time of year. So routines are different, but the music that is often presented to us through these means also is different this time of year.
yeah, yeah.
And children and ourselves may like it, or we might get to a point where we say, it's a little much now. And
Yeah,
just
yeah.
noticing that.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really fair thing to say, is that maybe we want to, you mentioned that we might want to bring in songs that we just really like that have nothing to do with the holidays.
Yeah. Maybe can
Share
make
that.
a curated playlist of holiday music and also maybe a mix of music.
Yeah, yeah. I feel that way myself. And I mean maybe I'm a little bit like a kid, but I have things that I really like to hear that I continually go back to. And to feel interrupted by the holiday music is, maybe not that pleasant. Maybe, yeah, maybe I still want to hear that thing. So that's a point well taken. And again, noticing what's going on with us and then doing what we can about it. So it's kind of, we need to care for our kids, and it starts with this part. It starts with
Us.
for
Yeah,
ourselves.
music holds a lot of memories and information, and some of that's pleasant, and some of it may be unpleasant. So knowing how we react to it, and perhaps we gravitate to a certain song or certain types of music because we have memories from childhood that are pleasant and we want to pass that
Yeah.
on. But just knowing how we react, because music can bring you right back someplace instantly when you hear that song.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the building traditions part, I guess, but knowing knowing what it is you're building.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just being kind to yourself too. You know, routines are different. Children's routines are different. Our routines are different, and it's often we are dysregulated. You said there's a little much this time of year. There's just a little bit more, a little bit more to our
Mm,
routines.
yeah.
So we might want this season to unfold with as little dysregulation as possible for ourselves and for our children. But even if that's not always possible, just we're saying there's always next year. Just learn. It's all information. Just learn.
Right.
Learn from
Yeah.
it and be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
Non judgmental.
Yeah. I think that is the wisdom that we need to bring in here. I ask for words of wisdom from our guests, and that seems like um, really, really wise, I want to say. So,
Thank you.
so maybe we want to end with a little music as well, and see if it strikes us the same way.
Okay, so we'll come back to Green Sleeves. That is a favorite, all times of year for me.
Hmm.
For me. So.
We go. Nice, nice symmetry. That feels like a very kind piece of music.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you, Don.
Well, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it. We always appreciate you coming to help us out on the music side of things. And I look forward to more.
Wonderful. Me too.
So,
Thank
all
you.
right, everyone, have a wonderful